Hello friends. So today our topic is root locus diagram. So in my previous video I have told that this Routh-Harvey's criteria is going to be a very important part in root locus diagram plotting. So first of all I want to give a basic introduction about root locus diagram. So from the name you can understand root locus is something about locus, something about plotting, something about any graph. So the locus of root. So this root is nothing but the roots of characteristic equations which we find from any particular transfer function. So now the basic idea you have to understand that we just have to plot something. We just have to plot it on any graph. So here the uh, the plane is actually the S plane, where in the x-axis we find sigma and in the y-axis, that is imaginary axis, j omega. So here we actually plot the roots, means where zeros are there, where poles are there, and these according to the locus, the poles varies actually, and that variation of poles actually comes from the constant term k, which I have told you before. K is actually, you can understand as the gain of open loop transfer function, the gain, DC gain. So the k can be varied of any open loop transfer function, and you know that when we find out the characteristic equation of any closed loop system or closed loop transfer function, then in the denominator part we have to take 1 plus GS Hs. If I take Hs or feedback as 1, then only GS term, means the open loop transfer function term is there. So K plays a very important role in characteristic equation. So other important role is of open loop transfer function. So thus from open loop transfer function we can find out the stability, or it is stable or not, of any closed loop transfer function. Root locus is important in the sense that it actually tells us about the relative stability, as we vary the k value, because different open loop transfer functions can have different kind of k, for which range of k value the system is stable or unstable. So this is actually telling us the dynamic characteristic of any system depending on the k value and the location of poles. So now it is logical approach, but first of all you need to understand some steps, some written down and logical steps. As you can see on the screen that they have 6 steps. 6 steps. In these 6 steps we can cover the whole root locus plotting and understanding the system is stable or not. So you can take the screenshot of it, because I am going to take an example where I will be discussing all the steps. So you don't need to writing or wasting times like this. You just directly understand the example problem. So now, as I have said previously, we are going to have an example problem. So I have taken the question like given an open loop transfer function k by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2, and obtain the root locus diagram and comment upon the stability of closed loop system. So you have to draw the first you understand the question, you have to first draw the root locus diagram. Then from that diagram, seeing its weights and where it's going, so from that you have to comment upon the stability of what? Closed loop system, because from root locus you take the poles of open loop transfer function, but you comment upon the stability of closed loop system. That's the main thing. So now we are going to solve the problem. So I am taking just the open loop transfer function and I am proceeding. So as per the rules, first we have to draw the S plane. Ignore those things first. First draw the S plane and locate the poles. Then we will be proceeding one by one. So the open loop transfer function is given like this. So we have to take the S plane. To draw the root locus diagram, we have to take the S plane. So in the real axis, we plot sigma because S is equal to sigma plus j omega. That is because of S plane. So now in the imaginary axis that is j omega, in the x axis the real part that is sigma. So first of all we need to understand where the poles are located. So we know that one pole is at 0, like another pole is S plus 1 is equal to 0, therefore S is equal to minus 1 plus j0, right? So another pole is S plus 2 is equal to 0, therefore S is equal to minus 2 at minus 1. These are the three poles. So we have to locate that in that S plane. We have to plot them. So first pole, there is a pole. You have to locate the pole just like that. So one pole is at 0th position, another pole is at S is equal to first position, that is 1. This is 0. Another pole is at second position. Now then you have to understand the basic concept, that is if there is odd number of poles, there will be no root locus, but if the number is even, there will be root locus. So seeing from the left side, we have to proceed from the left side. So here there are three poles, no zeros is available, three poles are there, that is odd number. So in this part there will be no root locus. So one root locus that will be in the left side, and that will be emerging to a pole. Obviously the root locus will obviously emerge to any 0. So if there is no 0 in the finite position, all the zeros will be infinite position. Infinite position means where the values of k will be 0, the constant value of k will be 0. So we can denote it just like that. There is a 0 in the infinite, there is a 0, and the pole or the root locus is emerging into that 0. So now this is gone, two poles are left. So here 2 is even number, so there will be obviously a root locus in between them. So one root locus will be emerging from this pole, another will be emerging from this pole, and obviously they will be meeting somewhere here. So that meeting point is called breakaway point. That is calculated from DKTS. That will be doing later. First of all, we need to understand some more points, that is about asymptote. So centroid of asymptote, that is calculated summation of real part of poles minus summation of real part of zeros by p minus z. What is p minus z? P minus z is actually called the number of asymptotes. So here p minus z, p value means the number of poles is 3. There is no 0, so z is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. Now in the numerator part you can see so there will be no real part for zeros, only real part of poles. So those are minus 2. One is minus 2 plus j0. So we are not that is not considerable. Only the real part, that is minus 2 plus minus 1 plus 0. So total minus 3 by 3, that is minus 1. So the centroid will be also positioned at 1th position. That is just a coincidence. So from the asymptote you need to understand the angle of asymptotes. This is very important point, the angle of asymptote, because through this you need to understand that after the breakaway the root locus will be going in the asymptotic direction, in the direction of asymptotes. So there is the direct formula, that is 2x plus 1 by p minus z. X is here 0, 1, 2. You need to understand x is also dependent on p minus z. P minus z is 3 here. So there will be 3 values of x, 3 values, not up to 3. There will be 3 values of x considering 0 itself. So 0, 1, 2. There are 3 values. So if I put 0 in this position, this becomes 60 degree only, right? So if I remove it, if I put 1, so 2 into 1, that is 2, 2 plus 1, 3 by 3, 1 cancelled, and remaining is 80 degree. So just like that, if I put 2, it will be 300 degree. So 3 asymptotic angle or 3 angles of asymptotes we have found. So now I am just like that I am drawing it. Let this is one asymptote, that let this is 60 degree. Another asymptote will be in this direction because this is 180 degree. Another asymptote will be in this direction because this is 300 degree. These are 3 asymptotes. Now the calculation of breakaway. So now you have to find out the breakaway point. So breakaway point, as per the rules we find from the characteristic equation. So here the characteristic equation is AC into S plus 1 means the whole denominator plus k. Why so? Because we know from the open loop transfer function GS HS by 1 plus GS HS. So here this is the closed loop transfer function. Its characteristic equation is this one. The denominator 1 is equal to 0. That is characteristic equation. So 1 plus GS HS, when we do, this is going to the upside. So this plus k, this is going to the numerator side. So this is the characteristic equation. So from here, as we have to do the dk/ds, we have to take the derivative of k with respect to s. So we are taking k, we are taking the s variables in the another side. We are taking dk/ds derivative, that is coming like this, and we have to know we know that dk/ds is equal to 0 if we are to find out the breakaway point. So from here we are taking s is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. So that is, so there are two solutions are coming in. One is minus 0.6, another one is minus 1.6. Now the main point comes. As per the root locus, the 0.6, this point is on the root locus, but 1.6 is somewhere here, so that is not in the root locus or on the root locus, so that is not considered. Minus 1.6 is not considered. Minus 0.6 is the actual breakaway point, and this is called the saddle point. This is called the saddle point. This is called the saddle point. So the point which will be on the root locus, that is called saddle point. Minus 1.6 is not the saddle point. So here the breakaway point is minus 0.6. So from here this root locus will cause the breakaway, and after the breakaway it will go towards the asymptotes, but most important part, as per the asymptotes going according to 60 degree and 300 degree, it will also bend, but after bending it will obviously cut the imaginary axis somewhere. That intersection point is found out by the router. So this is the application part of router in root locus. This is very important. So we know the characteristic equation Qs, we represent it as Qs is equal to 0, that is Qs is equal to s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus k is equal to 0. Now we have to plot the router. So first here s cube, s square, s to the power 1, s to the power 0. Now we have to plot. The coefficient of s cube is 1, then 3, then 2 here, then k here, then 0. You can take it or you can take it as you wish. So the next term here, that will be 3 into 2 minus k into 1 by 3, that is 6 minus k by 3. Now the next term, that is 3 into 0, 3 into 0, 1 into 0 by 3, that is 0 only. So this term is coming here only. So now if I do this for S naught, S2 equals 0, that is this term into this term minus this into 0 by this term, that is K only, right? That is K only. So we know that this system, to be marginally stable, one row needs to be 0. So already here it is 0. So this term needs to be 0. So 6 minus K by 3 is equal to 0. Therefore we get K is equal to 0. Hence from K is equal to 6, the system will be marginally stable. Now this K value needs to be put into auxiliary equation. What is the auxiliary equation? In the second order equation of Raoult, that is 3s square plus 6 is equal to 0. This is the auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation. So from here we get the S value is equal to plus minus j minus 6 by 3 minus 2 plus minus root over minus 2, that is plus minus j root 2. These are the intersection to the imaginary axis. So this will be minus, all are minus. So intersection to the imaginary axis, that is one here, another here. That is one is plus j root 2, another is minus j root 2. Hence this will be moving like this now. They will be moving like this. Now this point also can be written like 0 into root. Now the most important part here, no zero is present at the infinite, at the finite location. All are present in the infinite because all the poles will obviously converge to any zero. So here all the zeros are present in the infinity. So there is some imaginary, like there is some zeros in the infinity. Here is some zero in the infinity. Now the most important point, that is what is the K values at the zero, at the poles, right? So from here you can see, if we take the poles of closed loop system, so there will be closed loop system. In the denominator part we see this. So making the K0, we find out the poles of open loop transformer. So when their K is 0, then we are finding poles. So at the poles the K values are 0. At 0th location K is equal to 0, minus 1 location K is equal to 0, minus 2 K is equal to 0, and at the zeros K is equal to infinite. You have to write this on the root locus. Marks are based on this also. K is equal to infinite here, K is equal to infinite. So now another point I want to discuss, that is the system's stability. So you know that if the poles are on the left side of any of S plane, so the system will be stable. If in the right side, the system will be unstable, and if on the imaginary axis, the system will be marginally stable. So here we see a root locus here, a root locus here. These are, and also up to this is on the left side. So for these poles, why this is happening? Because K value is varying from 0 to infinity. So different types of open loop transfer function we are getting, different types of systems we are getting. So we are finding out the relative stability. So up to this part of K value, all the transfer functions will be stable because those are situated in the left side of the S plane. But remaining all which are on the right side, those are unstable. For those K value, system will be unstable. On the poles on the imaginary axis, here the system will be marginally stable. Now if the question comes, the intersection point of imaginary axis, what is the k value there? We have found out that before. For marginal stability we have found out the k value, that is 6. So here and here the k value will be 6. Here is k value is 0. But when it is reaching there, k value is 6. When it is reaching infinity, means there is k value is infinity. There is a 0 located. So we can say that up to the left side this is stable. Here it is unstable. This way you have to write the answer. So as I have said, we can plot the root locus diagram in MATLAB. So we have to just type some numerical values, which we type the numerical values of pose. So after that MATLAB directly shows the output diagram on root locus in the screen. So from this pole, root locus is emerging towards the infinity. Here there is no root locus, as odd number of poles in the right side from here. But here the breakaway is happening and it is also emerging towards the infinity, like towards the zeros, because those are situated in infinity, because there is no finite zeros. So in the MATLAB you can see just like this. This is just an example, not the previous one which I am done in the board. So I think you have understood the whole concept with this, and this is helpful and one of the bonuses for you. So if you like the video and you have understood, please like the video, share with your friends and subscribe.